Hello, and welcome to another Mystic Frequency Tarot reading. This is Lisa, and I'll be your tarot reader today. In this four-pile, pick a pile or more if you feel called to research into each pile. We're going to talk about how you will meet your soulmate, significant other, your honeyboo, if you will. I hope you are ready for a very lengthy reading since a lot of this information is going to be shared with you today. And if you do find yourself in a pile and start to notice that it's not resonating with you, let that be an indicator that that is not your pile and it was meant for another individual. You may even see that some of the messages do apply to you and do resonate. So just take what information does apply for you and your current situation and where you currently are with your growth journey and how you are searching for your significant, your other half. And each pile, if you are uncertain whether or not you are ready to jump into a really long reading and you want to see just a quick snapshot or a debriefing of each one, I'm going to provide that in the links below each timestamp in the description box. So this is going to be a really fun reading, and I am looking forward to this. I love being a cupid of some sorts to help people align themselves and put them back in the flow of finding that true connection. So let's go ahead and look at the 8 core topics each pile is going to talk about before we go into jumping in and doing our benevolent intentions and breathing. So, how will you meet your soulmate? So, the first thing we're going to talk about is this crystal icebreaker that's going to apply for both of you. And it's also similar to being like a quick snap, if you will, just like a debriefer, but it's more of a general overall feeling that I'm getting from each pile. The second card we're going to look at is how you need to prepare to meet this individual. If you are not where you need to be currently in alignment and try to jump into a relationship that is unstable or previous energies you were trying to bring from previous relationships into this, it can make it really difficult to be more compassionate and empathetic with this other person. We're going to talk about their blocks, what is currently preventing them from meeting you in the middle, and then we're going to talk about your blocks. You may see that these blocks may be yours, so flip them. So if you notice me talking about their blocks and it's something current to you, just let that be a sign there may be mirroring energies in here. Then we're going to look at your spiritual counselor. This is the person who has been assigned to you, who is currently working with you since you are on your journey looking for your future relationship. And then we're going to go and ask for the counselor's advice. And then we're going to look at word scramble to spell out what we can't say. And then the last thing we're going to look at is some charms. I'm looking really forward to this. So let's go ahead and set our intentions up so that way we receive the right information. It applies to your current circumstances and you don't accidentally pick something up that wasn't meant to be carried. So benevolent spirit guides, ancestors, divine creator, and the highest good versions of ourselves that we can become, I ask that you help us channel the right information for this group so that way they may know how they will meet their soulmate and how to prepare for that, so that way they can start working on their blocks and no hiccups, no accidental restarts, jumping into cycles prevents them from a truly authentic love. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and do 3 good breaths. Let's go ahead and breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one. Breathe out. Now, if you are ready to choose your pile, or if you want to go ahead and jump into the debriefing timestamp, you are more than welcome to. But other than that, let's go ahead and get started into the piles, and I'll see pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4 in just a second. Hi, pile 1. Or if you are coming from another pile, welcome again. Let's see how y'all will meet your soulmate or your honey boo, if you will. So let's go ahead and jump into your crystal icebreaker. And this is labradorite. Transformation, magic, imagination. A stone of transition, labradorite assists in times of change and transformation. It expands our connection with the universe, unlocking the third eye and all the wonder that lies beyond the physical realm, as well as your magical powers. Labradorite evokes the magic we all have, reminding us to wield our power by going within and connecting to the core truths of who we are. Chase after your dreams and align yourself with the vibration of anything is possible, an energy labradorite is all too familiar with. This is indicative of you both are going to be going through a very transitional phase, or when things around y'all are changing. Not subtle changes, it's changes that needed to happen before this connection could even meet. When you are more focused on going within, this card, this change that you have to do is going to allow you to believe you are capable of anything. And this, your other partner, is also going to be going through this similar phase where they realize the things that were going on before them, the relationships that they had before they come into connection with you, to have a more authentic love with more empathy and compassion. They knew they were going to have to change, and you know you're going to have to change as well in order for this relationship to work. Because after all, think about previous relationships before you. And even if this may be your first relationship, you will still need to find ways to ground yourself and heal any kind of trauma or any kind of baggage that may have presented itself before even obtaining this. I'm not saying that one person will be more experienced than the other. What I'm saying is all of the collective relationships, whether they were with your family, your friends, your coworkers, any relationship where you had to be around another person, eventually, whatever you go through with those people, it's going to add up over time. And you may have these ideology beliefs on how a true relationship will work. And or you watch another person and you see that they make it look easy, but they had to do a lot of work in order to make that relationship work and last. With today's time, you often see it is so easy for someone to give up on their relationship and start over completely new, but they bring in previous energy from their last relationship and it just never makes it work. So this is a very transitional phase for both of y'all. You will both be learning something and growing from a place that is more authentic for each of you. So let's look at how you need to be preparing to meet this person. We have House 11, friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. The people you open up to most or act like yourself around are the ones helping you open the door to invite this energy in. When you find common interests or hobbies you enjoy that you're a connoisseur in, You're an expert in the things that you love and are passionate about. And these hobbies, these interests, these passions you have, you can talk for hours on end about them. And when you find yourself around an individual and you can't express that part of yourself, that means that relation, that particular interest you may have at that time, that is not who you are meant to be around. The person that you are meant to be around is someone you can be like this with, where you don't feel like you need to hold it all back. Events, traveling, anything that puts you in a higher vibrational energy is going to be how you can prepare to meet this person. So if you like to go bird watching, you like to be out in nature, you like to go hiking, if you like to create, you love museums, you love learning more about the things that you love that light you up within, this is going to help you connect to people that are like that. When you feel like you are mirroring someone and you can't understand what it is about that person, why you feel so connected and drawn to them, they have very similar energy that is just like yours. You see how they are lit up from the things that they enjoy. And you may even take interest and delve into your curiosity behind the things that they're interested in. And may even discover that you pick up something that you've never even had before. The other thing I'm getting is, like, if you like to play video games, or you like to go to hobby fairs, maybe you like to go shopping, maybe you just really enjoy going on spiritual enlightenment tours. By finding ways to connect with people who are like you, you are opening up your circle. And by opening that circle up and not letting it be so small, you're going to allow yourself to really finally start walking in front of this person. This individual, and maybe even you, they love humanitarian acts. They have these moral codes. You may see these people at dog or cat animal shelters. This could even be a person that when they see a turtle crossing the road, they'll stop their car regardless of how busy traffic is, just to help a turtle cross and get to the other side. This person is someone who, when they see an elderly person, they're going to go out of their way to assist that elderly person, whether it be reaching something off the shelf or helping them cross the street as well, just like a turtle. They care a lot about the ecosystem, and anything that they see is a need, they want to be able to help it. And this may be how you feel too. When you see someone is struggling and you know how to take care of them or show them how to best deal with the situation, you are the first person people oftentimes will call. And by you branching out and you helping others and just being that good light earth worker, you are propelling yourself in a position where they will stumble upon you. And I'm also getting an image of, at a point, maybe you're the one that needed help getting something off a shelf and this person happened to come up and see you and something clicked. Normally you're the one having to help someone and they come in and decide to help you. Or while you're out and you're just taking care of animals, you're just being your natural self, your natural being, and that catches them and they really enjoy watching you. That's what I'm really getting from this. They enjoy watching you just like a bird watcher would. They see your colors, they see your gracefulness, they just see how you are at peace with everything around you. So house 2 says to prepare by stepping outside of yourself and operate as a larger whole. Find a need, find something different besides what it is you are currently working on, and start reaching out and connecting. Ask your friends, hey, do you know anybody that might be interested in picking up trash around the community? Or I really want to start this humanitarian project where we go and assist the homeless. Do you know anybody that has good connections? It's about stepping outside and doing something for the greater good. This individual operates by pushing people forward and helping them see the impact that they have on everything around them. So if they believe you are a solution, you need to believe you are the solution to whatever problem there may be. If you don't feel like you are someone that actually makes an impact, just know that you do make an impact. When you open your eyes and you get up in the morning and you take in your coffee, you eat your breakfast, and then you leave your door, as soon as you leave your door and you enter into the world around you, you are already shining this light on people, and it is healing them, and it's making them see hope in people. And this other person, they're very disciplined. And they like to be around people that have a similar energy, similar beliefs, because it boosts society. They want to boost society. They want to make society a better place. And they want to align themselves with somebody who is just like that. When you are in a group project and you are passionate, just as if your leader of the group is passionate about this, it really helps connect this type of energy. So we need to start asking ourselves, what are your passions and interests? What are your philosophical, spiritual, or humanitarian beliefs? Start really thinking about what you really do care about, how you want to make an impact in this world, and start asking those around you if they know anybody that can do this, that can set this connection up for you. Express your beautiful truths so kindred spirits can find you. You need to be able to express this. This is something, if you don't feel like you have a purpose, this is going to prevent that connection from happening. You need to start believing you do have a purpose in this world. And this purpose is very similar to this other person's purpose. We're going to look at what their blocks are next. Now that you know how to prepare, how to jump into this relationship and what kind of discipline and ideology that you need to have in order to sustain this type of connection. And here we have for their blocks, and like I said in the intro, you may feel like these might be things that you need to work on, or if it's like a mirroring image where they also share those similar qualities, then you'll start to see sometimes there's a lot of things that we need to work on, and sometimes by being with this person, that's how we work through our blocks. So they have the Six of Wands, and they need to acknowledge their success. When they obtain a goal and they allow their passions to really light up and go after the things that they are working towards, this person needs to be able to acknowledge the success before they start anything else again. If they keep constantly, oh, there's a need there, there's a need there, there's a need there, and they're trying to help everybody, their energy gets real scattered, kind of like in this card around here, and they may not be able to effectively assist and help those individuals. Or they may even find themselves trying to take everything all on their own and not asking for help. And this, if you are someone that sees when someone needs help because they're taking on too much, by entering into their energy, they begin to start to trust you, and probably only you. They trust only you because you're the only one that can help them see above ground and see what areas of their life that they really need to be focusing on. And this card, like I said, this is the personal definition of success. And if they can't, like if they do make promises to help others and they start to find that they can't even fulfill those promises, their ego can take a drop. And they start to worry about how people will perceive them if they cannot help them, if they can't help them win their battles. And even though these people are raising their wands to him, if he feels like, or she feels like, or whoever this individual feels like can't help everyone, it feels like rather than them raising a toast to them, they're trying to burn them. How can you not help us? How can you sit here and help all these other people when we have all these other issues going on over here that should be more important? And they may be uncertain what is important to them. What should they be really working on? What matters to them? And you come in to kind of look at them and tell them, don't worry about what's important to all these other people because you've been fighting their battles for them and winning them. And now you need to see that you have your own battle that you need to be working on. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to assist any more people if you keep this kind of energy going. And this person needs to be more concerned with their character than their reputation. If you see them start to become more on the fence about how others perceive them, help them go back and work on their character instead. This person can usually be followed by a ton of supporters or people. This also makes me think of a person that oftentimes maybe they are a content creator and they have a lot of people watching them and they almost seem untouchable, this type of energy. And it separates them from others. People may be afraid to actually approach this person. If you can get past the cameras and the flashing and whatever people say that that person is, and if you were to just waltz in here, pick them up, you are going to be their knight in shining armor. They want someone that they can connect to. They feel like they're doing all this work by themselves, and they need someone who is able to help them keep attacking these needs and assisting others and sharing content. And by having this connection with you, if you are a creator of some sort of content and you have this project you're working on and you want to collaborate with another individual, your editors or your people that really help you reach out and connect with these people, by you coming in, they see something that they haven't seen in anyone else, and they want to continue to work with you on this. And by this relationship and this, at first, co-working dynamic that's going on, it may only just be co-workers at first, but then something starts to build on it. Now, that may not be for everybody, I will say that. But this person really cares about really being in this sort of limelight where they are taking their beliefs and actually doing something with them. And when they do get done with whatever project that they're working on and they get, broken away from the crowd, they're going to need someone that can tell them what they should be working on. And usually that'll be, you need to take a time out and acknowledge that this project you did, you need to celebrate it. You need to feel good about what it is you did. Don't worry about everyone else waiting for you to release something else or create something else. You should just focus on yourself. And they need someone to tell them that. By doing this, it's like that next big win. And they're going to be able to escape. If there's like a big group event where you are celebrating with a big group of individuals who assisted with this project that y'all may have been working on, maybe this person just really wants to escape and celebrate by themselves. And you see this, you see that they're tired, they're a little bit exhausted. They've already been around so many people before this. And you say, let's slip outside. Let someone take care of the celebration. Let's go ahead and slip outside so that way you can wind down and really think about what you actually obtained by doing this project and how it makes an impact on people. They really, really need to see who is with them when they rise and fall. They need someone that is just as competitive at winning than they are, and someone who can see failures as opportunities for fine-tuning growth. They need to remember the cause, the why behind the work. They need to be humble and choose integrity over ego. I say that in just about every video that I record because it is true. You need to choose integrity over ego. They need someone who's going to be their ride or die when others raise their well wishes. And this person really wants to be around someone when they are not at their highest. Like I keep saying, when they can't do the awesome things that everybody knows them to do, you're still with them. You still accept them for that. So let's go ahead and get into these blocks. Your blocks. I keep saying these blocks. So if you do feel like that seemed more like me, just take that as a flip. So your blocks, and we have the Justice card. Making decisions, especially when you have the information before you, is very vital. When you know that a relationship is good for you, you're going to have all these green flags that are around you. And at first, you may think you're being attacked, that the world around you, the universe, is just playing a trick on you. You found someone who is very passionate about the same things that you're passionate about, and you raise your sword looking for someone in the dark to come out and say, nope, we were just kidding. This is false. And by stepping out and going through the veil, think of the High Priestess card where she has this veil and all you see is these pillars, and you just really have to start trusting the right information that is before you. And this also is making me think, if maybe you started working with this person at first, or your friend group that you were around, and you just heard little bits and pieces, maybe they got the bad end of the stick, if that makes sense. And so you just think, oh, that's a bad person. I should avoid that type of energy. Or I need to stone my heart up because this is obviously somebody that'll just come in and burn through all of my energy and my resources and take advantage of the connections that I have. But by you meeting with this individual, you start to discover parts of them that are raw, parts of them that feel defeated if they can't help everyone. And you see this side of them that other people did not get to see, and they're only able to show you that part of you. And so you're really being asked, you need to start trusting your intuition and allow you're seeing yourself to see what is really true. Don't always judge the book by the cover, and don't always accept what people are revealing to you as to be the final definitive answer before you put the gavel down on them. And if you are someone that is worried about past relationships, if you are coming from a past relationship that really made you question your worth, this is a block where you need to see how you were able to rise and prove others wrong based on your own actions. You have a trail of alibis and connections that have developed over the years, and your integrity is not one that should be questioned because it is true. You are not someone that would just get the justice card. You are someone that values balance and harmony. And you may even be that type of person when you have a friend group and you have these friends that are fighting with each other, and they want you to decide, who do you think is in the wrong? Who do you think is in the right? And that can be exhausting at times, especially on your reserves. And you're not someone that likes to pick sides. You just want them to work things out, maybe legally sometimes, especially if you have like a roommate situation and someone decides not to pay their part of the rent. And now we got to do something legally, even though they were friends. This could also be this collaboration. I keep thinking about this collaboration that is going on, this big project that is going on. And you need to trust your instincts, because this connection that you're being told to connect with, it's true. It's definitely something you want to put your heart into. It's what you want to put your emotions and your mind into. And I'm also thinking of how you swear into this relationship is how it's going to build itself. If you try to use a previous relationship or the people around you to determine how it should be, you're going to end up being one of these people holding the sticks instead. You need to make that decision for yourself. If you are legally held up in the eyes of court, I had to write this down because this was for a very specific individual, since I do have the justice. If something needs to be settled before you can even meet this person, you are being encouraged to look at it and do something about it. Think about what is yours versus what is not yours. Do some healing with close family and friends who can support this difficult time. This is making me think of somebody that could be in a relationship where they are legally married to another person. Before you should even be looking at another person, you should be resolving the attached relationship that may be on your name. If you are going back to the transition, you are going to be going through a very transitional time. There's going to be a lot of changes going on. Starting a relationship when you are going through changes is not going to benefit you. You are not going to align yourself correctly. Take care of what needs to be taken care of first. Take care of any legal battle, especially if you're having to fight for land, your home, maybe even custody over children. Whatever legal battle you are going through, resolve it first. And this could even be what's blocking them from coming into your world, is because they know you have these battles that you need to start taking care of first. They want to go towards you, but they cannot even turn towards you until you align yourself and fix this block. And this is even talking about taking accountability for your actions that need to be dealt with. If there was something that you did that was from an ego sense of state, by taking ownership and growing and moving from it so you don't recreate the same mistake, they're going to admire that, because this person obviously has made mistakes before. To be someone that can compete and be at the top quite often, they have to work really hard to do it. They can't just go to the top. They have to fall. They have to learn. They have to grow. And by watching you learn and grow from your mistakes, from the people that you have surrounded yourself with, that's what's going to turn their horse around and start heading towards you. Treat others how you want to be treated. The next card is who is going to be with you. Who your attorney is, basically, is what I'm getting. Who is your attorney? We have Serena. I am the angel of abundance. You will receive the money that you need, and God is in charge of how that will happen. Maybe this legal battle, this obstacle that you're having to overcome, you did not have the financial means in order to do this. Maybe this was even why you were reaching out through your friends. Hey, do you know anybody that could help loan me money so I can really take care of this and put my life back on track? Because I have this shadow in the dark, and they're not going to let me be free until I completely resolve this. And they know someone. And at first you're like, oh, I can't afford that. But depending on your case and your situation, that'll be a need that they're interested in helping. And you're going to get the money in order to do that. And this person will also have the financial means in order to do what they need to do. Maybe they need to lawyer up too. Maybe you are a lawyer. Maybe they are a lawyer. Maybe just with the way your world works, because there is a lot of intelligence here. There's a lot of intelligence. There's a lot of passion. And these people really care about taking care of injustices that are in the system and rising above, regardless of how people view or see them. If they see your case is worthy to fight, all you have to do is ask for help, ask for financial plans. And by developing that relationship, they see something in you that they haven't seen in anybody else, and they value that. Serena is definitely going to be here to help you release any kind of cares or worries. She wants you to let the situation be surrendered to anyone that is around you that can help you find those connections. Don't worry about finances or how to make ends meet. By doing that, you're really closing yourself off. You're letting these walls kind of close in around you, and then you feel like you have to fight even harder. Whereas if you allowed yourself to release it to the system so people can find the resources for you, Serena's going to be able to open her arms and give you everything you need. Financial support can also come in very creative and unexpected ways. Don't worry about how they happen. This person, if they have influence with others, they may even start a GoFundMe page just so that way you can get rid of any of the baggage that is preventing you from being in this relationship. And they don't mind how that makes them look. All they want to do is assist you and make things easier for you. And that's an indicator too. When this person does not mind how they start to look around the public, they just want to make you look good. And that's beautiful, to have somebody that wants to make you look good, regardless of how everyone else sees them. Notice your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas that you're having. Are they healthy or are they limiting? And really, she wants you to start relaxing around this. If you allow yourself to relax, you're going to be able to come up with even more ideas that will support and carry you to the next step. So Serena has some advice, and y'all have 2 cards for this. We have the World, and we have the 10 of Coins. The natural cycles in our life, in our realm, really dictate how events unfold. And when you notice this, when you start to notice these cycles that you're in or these people that you were around, you're going to find yourself thinking, okay, that is something that I need to work on, because the world is about closing a chapter and opening a new one. And before you can jump into something new, you need to really think about what it is that you need to be doing, what you need to be closing before you can even enter into this kind of relationship. And start to notice how your life starts to line up and everything is starting to sync together by taking care of the cycles and the things that are around you. And sometimes in our most difficult moments, times of life, this sadness that is being released, because you have to release feelings in order to bring in loving, compassion, just real good healing types of feelings. Sadness will bring this hope. This darkest moment is going to bring you hope. They're already working on their way to get there to you. But allow yourself to release it. Growing up and dealing with what life throws at you and not hiding from the facts of life lets you see that you don't need to waste time on obtaining a good life. It's something you have to take action on. This world is something you can obtain, and you know you need to take action for it to even be obtainable. So be open to seeing things differently. Allow yourself to be more creative and imaginative. Start new chapters, and don't always close the book. Don't close the book. Create more within that book. This is your book. This is your life. This is what you are working towards. Don't close yourself out. Don't let the darkness in. If you were in a previous marriage or some legal battle that results in you actually being in front of the court, don't let this tear you down. You are deserving of love, and even if you have to air out your baggage and all of the things that occurred to the eyes of court, you have more on your plate that makes you more deserving than this other person had. And they may seem a lot bigger. They may seem like they're up on a taller pedestal. You may think that they have better connections than you do. They may have more finances than you do. But you have the sword, they don't. The sword is in your favor, and it's in your left hand, and you are raising it, and you trust your intuition and know that you are in a means, you have resources just like everybody else does, and you have a way in reaching out and getting the finances you need in order to bring this down. to close that chapter before you can begin a new one. And this 10 of coins, this person, let me tell you something. This person is going to be your world. This person is going to be your 10 of coins. And this person that probably surrounds himself with a lot of supporters, a lot of connections, they do a lot of events. Normally they would want to be in this light, but with you, they may not want to even share you. They're going to see you as this end goal, this happily ever after type scenario. And they're going to feel more abundant with you and more nurturing with you. And they're going to want to pass a legacy down with you. And they're going to want to build upon it. They care about the long-term security. And Serena is asking you to also start looking for the long-term goals that you want to obtain, that you want to complete, that you wish to have under your belt. Prosperity, success, being more sustainable so you don't have to constantly reach out for financial support. Find ways to be more sustainable. You have to believe in this relationship in order for it to work. Use long-term lenses when obtaining this relationship. It only goes to those who work for it. They don't want someone who only has one type of experience. They want someone that has long, drawn out, educational, philosophical. They believe in someone that is a jack of all trades, that just gets up and keeps fighting for their goals, and they don't let legal battles prevent them from doing so. Be the inventor and the self-starter to plant and reap what you wish to sow. If you work for the life you want, you attract this energy in another. You will always want to reinvest with this person. By coming into contact with this person, anytime you find yourself in this position, this will be the first person you think about. Anytime they're in this situation where they need to get away and celebrate their own personal successes before they start something, you're going to be the first person. When you are successful with this, they're going to keep looking back at how you really stood up against this energy over here. And it's going to make them want to keep doing the same. I am excited to hear about your journey with this relationship. And when you do get through your blocks and they get through their blocks and this relationship comes back, please leave me a comment. I want to know how your journey goes. Let's go ahead and get into your word Scrabble and your charms, and then we'll go ahead and kind of like break them down bit by bit. So just a second, everyone. All right. Out of all the piles, I think your pile is the one with the most charms. And that's okay. It may take a little bit of time to get into each piece, but let's go ahead and look at your Scrabble. There are two things that I got from this whenever I pulled the letters out of the box. Yes, it's my hard work. It's my homework that I need to be doing. It's saying yes to the things that are hard to do. It's research and then putting in the work once you have all your research, all your information together. And it's saying yes to husband and wife. Because at the beginning of this video, you may have had these signs that started to come in because you are very intuitive. You have 3 owls in here. And we have the moon in the background. And it startles you. You found a connection that you did not think that you were actually going to have after this hard work that you had to put in. You didn't think anyone would even view you as being someone that was desirable, someone that may have had to close an ugly chapter. And maybe you thought all the other chapters you were going to be making after that were going to just be dark. Allow yourself to say yes to this connection, yes to this person. If you've already been doing this work and now you're at this point where this person just wants to know if you want to take this relationship to the next level, yes, you've done all the things that you need to be doing. Just let yourself have faith in yourself. Allow yourself to understand that you are abundant in many different ways, that you are not lacking. Because Serena, if she's coming in here and telling you she is bringing you financial means, it means you may feel like you have been lacking in this sense. Say yes, do your homework, explore. So we have 3 owls here. This is something that it really needs a lot of collaboration on. That's what I'm getting more than anything. Anytime the justice system is involved, or when we have the 6 of Wands energy, it takes work and people around to help make this work. Think of 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles, you see someone in front of a church and they're going over the plans in order to build this church. But before they can, they have to make sure that they check off with the electrician. They're checking off with the plumber. They're checking off with everything. And this key is saying the world is giving you the key in order to obtain everything that you're trying to do. But it's over here. And we have this, it's a necklace pendant, but this makes me think of a claw of someone trying to come in and close in around you. And you feel like you need to raise your sword up in order to combat against it. There's a lot of struggle going on right now. And do your homework to understand what the weakness of this claw is, so that way it can release itself and you can actually walk through the pillars and end a cycle, start a new chapter, saying yes to this individual, so you can start building this 10 of Pentacles kind of energy where you are obtaining a happily ever after. Luck is on your side. This is a crane. Luck is on your side. And going back to having bigger causes to work towards, having humanitarian beliefs, this crane, I remember reading a book when I was a child about a girl who had cancer. And there was this belief that if she had made 1,000 paper cranes and she asked for health recovery, that it would be obtained by making these wishes. Start allowing yourself to release these wishes that you're trying to obtain, and you will be very lucky. This voodoo doll it makes me think of how I was talking about at first. You didn't know anything about this person, and this is kind of like how the public has presented them. You may have clicked onto something, or a friend had said something, and this is what you thought they were. But by getting to actually know them, you're actually able to make a decision from a more virtuous place where it's more truthful. And you see them not as this, I'm hearing goofball. I'm also hearing somebody, maybe you thought someone was a clown of some sorts, that you didn't think that they were actually a very serious person, but by getting to know them, you discovered that they are very serious about their goals, that they are very wise, and that they do mean the things that they say that they're going to do. They don't go back on their word. And at first I've got a problem, and they hear, I can fix that. And this is what you think, oh, you're just another one of those people that says you can help me. And then they prove you otherwise. And this is a commandment charm, and it says, it's this, let me see, is that the 5th or the 6th? The 6th commandment, thou shalt not kill. Don't worry about how big you think this problem is. You may be scared that they can't handle this, but this isn't something that's going to kill them. If you're worried about a significant other coming in and actually causing violence on this person, just know that they're on a horse. And the only thing they have is maybe a dull claw. But they've already sharpened their senses. They've already did their battles. They obtained everything in order to make this work. All you need to do is release that fear that you're lacking. Maybe this person said, no one's going to want to be with you after this is all said and done. And they're telling you, oh no, there is someone that does want to be with you. And they are willing to come in here and do something as long as you believe that this person isn't going to be able to get them. This person's untouchable. They're on a horse and they're off the ground. And you did have a whole bunch of rings in here. We had 5 rings, I believe, in total. So these 5 rings, this is why I also thought this was talking about a marriage or a previous marriage or a relationship, is you had to learn through each one something different. And this last one, you had to really grow a backbone and really stand tall so you could do something about it. And it's allowing you to grow your heart. Even though this seems real small, think of the Grinch, how by being more empathetic and caring and actually caring about those that are around them, that heart gets bigger. And you learned some people who took parts of you that are shiny and they took it for themselves. By filling your cup and allowing someone to drink from the cup that you're supposed to be drinking, you are causing yourself to be dull. You cannot always be someone's savior, if that makes sense. This person may be that type of energy that wants to save everyone, and you may feel that as well, but you've discovered over time by constantly being that type of energy, you become very dull over time and you start to lose your jewels. And this ring is so beautiful. This makes me think of after you have gone through all these trials, these tribulations where you wanted a crown for yourself and you promised yourself, these are promises, you promised yourself to be more stronger. You promised yourself to not allow your heart to be taken advantage of and not allow someone to dull your beauty, your character. You won't let someone come in here and tell others who you truly are. You know who you truly are, and you're going to be the one that says it. And by doing this, you are obtaining something very beautiful. And this person is going to be the one that gives you this world. Think of this blue. The blue is truth. It is prosperity. It is in your hand. It really is. As soon as you pick up the sword to deal with this, it's going to be in your hand. And you may care a lot about excellence and achievements. And this person may care a lot about achievements because these achievements say that you're someone that's willing to work hard for these. And this earring is very beautiful. And it makes me think of yin, because I also have a black earring in there, and it makes me think of yin and yang. And you're going to be able to allow yourself to actually flow with this energy, once you release and start reaching out to those that can really help you with this dilemma, by listening, you are allowing yourself to flow and collect even more information about this connection. 13 on this dice is about rebirth. It's about killing going back to thou shalt not kill. You're not killing yourself. Do not kill yourself around this. Do not be afraid to change and kill what no longer serves you. You're not actually changing for the wrong reasons. You're changing for the right reasons. And this is a rebirth. This is you standing up with all of the knowledge that you have now and actually doing something about it. You're a lot more wiser now. And Serena has known this about you for a long time. You are very smart and intelligent, and this person may have been trying to make you feel less than that. And when we open it up, it's not something you were hiding. You are actually showing how smart you are. And this is going to allow you to travel wherever you want to go. Once you take care of this, you're going to be riding with this person and going with them on their journeys. They're going to take you everywhere, even to this home, this security, this sense of security, this sense of longing, it's not an ending, it's a part of your chapter. But you were meant to go with them on this. And this may be even telling you, maybe update your passport, make sure all your legal documents are valid, nothing is expired, and part of your homework, make sure you have all the right documents in order to pass through the gate. And this is a propeller. And whenever I seen this, it made me think of the little helicopters that spin off the tree. Sometimes life may feel like it's spinning out of control, but when the propeller hits the ground and it gets buried, and then it decides to stand up after it's been rooted, that's when you start to see this tree start to grow. Yes, it's hectic, but you're not going to fall from grace. You're going to grow from this. Well, Pile 4, this was your reading. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick debriefing so that way if someone wanted to jump into this pile and they wanted to know if this was really their pile to dive into, then they would then be encouraged to go back to the very beginning so they get all the information, because y'all have a lot of information, and this is something that really matters to you, is having all the information available to you. So let me go ahead and get this kind of reorganized so I can jump into that. All right, pile 1. Everything's been shifted on the board so I can kind of talk about the debriefing. So here's the debriefing. You're going through a very transitional change that is requiring you to close a chapter before you can start something new again. And it's going to require you to actually do homework. It's going to require you to make sure that you have all the necessary documents in order to travel towards your significant other, your future partner. And while you were going through this transition and you were preparing and connecting yourself with those that can help you with this situation that you're going on currently, you're going to be able to trust that whatever this energy is that you thought would be unbearable for someone else to take control of, you're going to discover that they are not just this doll or this dummy, that they're actually really wise and they have a really big resource system around them. And they're going to be able to come in and help you fight this battle with you. But before you can even think about this being a relationship, this has to close. And you're being asked to really release this, because Serena is your current counselor and she is helping you find the financial means in order to obtain this. And having someone that is like-minded between the two of y'all, because y'all care about greater causes, being a solution to a need that is around y'all. This person, this potential partner, has the ability to assist anybody. If they have the knowledge and the resources in this task, they're going to be able to effectively help you. And you're going to be able to develop a really strong backbone and stand up to whatever this is that's preventing this connection. And even though your world may feel like it's spinning out of control, this helicopter seed, eventually when it hits the ground, when it hits earth, it starts to grow, and you're going to be able to obtain this stability, this legacy. These long-term goals are now going to present themselves and bring you closer to this person. But it's going to require a lot of growing and rebirthing and letting go of any self-limiting beliefs or the beliefs around not asking for help. And when you start to see the signs that are around you that say this person is the person, don't freak out. You have every sign around you that is telling you that this is the person you were actually meant to be with. You will know that they were meant to be your husband, your wife. You're going to be able to say yes to them more so than you would with anybody else. You're going to allow yourself to trust them to take you on this trip. The key for this relationship to open this door is already in your hands. All you have to do is release what the problem is that you've been holding on to those that are around you that have connections and resources to help you do this. They don't want to see you struggle with this battle by yourself. And your perception on how people are around you, what people said about this person, or how you've kind of looked into their background, is going to change by getting to know them. So at first you may think they're not a capable individual, that they can't actually obtain this difficult goal that you're working towards, but they prove you wrong, and that lights things up within you that makes this a true relationship. This is your soulmate. This is your connection. And you may be going through a lot of legal battles, but until you do this closing, before you go into the new beginning, you need to start opening up and releasing. I encourage you to watch the rest of the video so you can hear lots of more in-depth scenarios about this love connection and how you can prepare and help with your blocks. But this is just a snapshot of it. And pile one, if you stayed for the debriefing, I appreciate your time and your patience. And if you enjoyed watching this content, please like, share if you know someone could benefit from this information, especially if it didn't resonate for you and you still watched it anyways because you knew someone around you was going through this. Send this over to them. Say, hey, click on pile one because I think there's something in here that pertains to you. And comment below. Let me know how your journey goes. I want to know. I'm the grandma that wants to know how my grandchildren are doing. So peace, love, and I wish you a peaceful battle where you are successful in this. All right, pile 1, I've got to go ahead and end this video, but if you feel called to go to another pile, you are more than welcome to. All right, guys, bye. Hi, pile 2. Welcome, and welcome if you are coming from another pile. Your pile is really special because you have 3 icebreakers that came out. And at first, whenever I was shuffling the cards, I was like, surely that's not what it is for this pile. But when I put the crystals in the top corner over here, I kept looking at this color and I was like, maybe this is calling to me. And then when I picked that up, I seen this one. I said, this is also calling to me. So let's go ahead and get it into each one of these, and then we'll kind of like briefly talk about it, because this is something that is going on in both your worlds that you need to kind of see how the system is working around y'all. But this is the first one that called y'all, so we're going to go ahead and jump into this one. So this is agate, stability, grounding, truth. A stabilizing stone, agate is used to balance the mind, body, and spirit, creating harmony in all areas of your life. Much like the patterns on the crystal itself, grounding and supportive, agate helps to reveal inner truths, cleansing beneath the surface to expose your authentic self. A wonderful stone to heal resentment, agate frees you from the self-imprisonment of inner anger, replacing it with safety and security. Agate takes its time, vibrating at a slow and steady pace, and encourages you to take as much time as you need for the matter at hand. Take as much time as you need. You are not being forced to jump into this right now. You need to take as much time as you need for this. This is pink halite, self-love, replenish, cherish. Vibrating with love, pink halite allows you to shed layers of negative thought patterns and beliefs as you connect to the essence of your true self. Pink halite helps you embrace new spiritual practices as a way of life, preventing you from picking up bad habits to begin with. With this stone, you will make choices out of self-love, honoring the highest version of yourself and trusting that you will make decisions for your highest good. Pink halite is a natural form of the mineral salt, known to cleanse toxins from the aura and replenish one's energy field. You're both going to be picking up better practices, good habits. I just love this purple. This is Sharite, bonding, acceptance, service. They're a presence in the present. Sharite shows you the gifts of living in the moment, enhancing gratitude and appreciation for the day-to-day. This is true acceptance, letting go of expectations for what your life should be and embracing what is right now. By just being, Sharite brings deep healing to your physical and emotional selves, down to your very cells, by reconfiguring your old programming into a new way of processing your daily life. After all, it is about perspective. Sharite helps you face your fears, see reality over projections, and live your truth. So for both of y'all, you may not know this person just yet, or you do have a sense of understanding or an intuitive ability that is around you. When you let go of any lingering resentment that has had a hold on your ability to practice more authentic self-care, and when you release outcomes to the potential future while staying present and grateful for the here and now, you both will cherish the little things that surround you that deeply matter while seeing the truth behind why it's important, while taking notice of what can be taken granted for. So I know that was really long and drawn out, but this is something you really need to take your time with right now. Any lingering resentment that each of y'all have had about previous relationships, don't bring that into this. Any expectations you expect someone to act or be a certain way, release that. Everyone is their own individual. Everyone has had their own past experiences. They've had to deal with their own traumas, their own baggage. And you're being asked to ground yourself, to start thinking about the past in a different way, so you can stay more present and start acknowledging what you have currently in front of you. This person is going to really help you stabilize your energy. You both are going to really help stabilize y'all's energy, especially when you both start to take charge and allow yourself to be pulled in your direction naturally. Start accepting what little mindful changes you can start making currently. And when you start to see the things that are opening you up, start moving even more into that direction, to a more deserving love that you can experience, that you do deserve. Start doing self-service work right now and allow yourself to join causes or experiences that help you relax and feel more fulfilled, because you both may have not felt fulfilled in these past experiences that you have experienced. And this benevolent spirit that is coming in right now is putting the brakes on for both of y'all and asking y'all to start working on yourself currently. And that's the biggest icebreaker here, is you need to start working on yourself. So we're going to look at how you need to prepare to meet this person, because anytime I hear self-service come in, or if I hear resentment, or I hear anything about the past being brought in, that's always indicative of we need to stop, start taking things one piece at a time so we can stay grounded. So we have Pluto, and this is transform. This is a transformative energy. This, when you're doing the self-service work, you're transforming yourself, you are rebirthing. Discover, and this is going to be Pluto. When I get these kind of cards for a reading, I don't want to hold back all the good things that you could receive from it. And I know my camera may be going light and dim and light and dim. So maybe this may be kind of like what you're going through, like things are bright and then they kind of get dull. And this is indicative of needing to assess when things start to feel that way and finding purpose in them again. So discover what toxic habits that are around you that you may lean on, or the relationships, the careers, the status, or certain beliefs that may be toxic that you're carrying that do not serve your highest good. Think of the people around you. Who do you allow to whisper doubt when your life starts to feel good to you currently? Who do you allow to, life's going good, but they kind of say, is it really though? Is it really? There's always something. There's always something behind the door. Or you hear them say, well, you know what happens. When the good things go good, the bad things come next. This is asking you to let go of those type of beliefs or those things that are being whispered in your ear. this is also talking about like, what job do you currently have? Or the environment that you are surrounding yourself with, is it toxic? Is the career or job you're working for, is that really what you really want to be doing? Do you feel like you have a voice in this situation? Or do you find yourself being quiet and put in a corner while everything is like unfolding? Maybe there's a lot of chaotic energy around you and you can't really do anything about it because the people that are here, they're not here to change. They're not here to transform. They're not here to do anything for their highest good. And you are not meant to be in this kind of energy. And you're being asked to prepare yourself to be removed from it and start healing. And this card is talking about, what does status and worth mean to you? Are you chasing a person, or are you the one chasing these objective goals? And you have to check off these boxes in order to be successful, in order for someone to come into this relationship and deem you worthy? Or do you find yourself, from the people that have been around you, they said, you need to find yourself someone that's like this. You need to find yourself someone like this, because you've seen how this worked out for me. You've seen how this worked out for your siblings. You've seen how this worked out. And they're basically telling you how you should live your life. They're telling you that when they start to see just one small aspect of the past, they throw it in your face. And they want you to make that one small thing determines someone's worth. That one small thing determines your worth. Because I feel like these people aren't here for your highest good. Because if they're talking about another person, notice how they are talking about that person, because that is how they will talk about you. And these are toxic individuals, and you need to let them go. And if you believe you are the toxic one and only deserve to settle for those that are more toxic, and this is what I'm going to kind of talk about. And this is a very deep topic, but I have very close personal ties to this type of situation. If you grew up in a very, very gross home, and when I say gross, I'm just trying to say toxic, but in another way, and you were shown only one way to treat another person because of the people that are around you, this is telling me you know that there's a different way to treat people. There's a different way to show your love for another person. There's a different way to be more compassionate and empathetic. And there's another way to relieve yourself from the narcissistic abuse that may have been around you. And maybe you are scared because you come from this background that you can't find a healthy relationship, or because you have all these internalized feelings, these internalized habits that you picked up on that are not yours to carry. You are so scared of getting out of control and people seeing that ugly side. People have ugly sides, and that's what I need you to understand. Everyone has an ugly side. What matters is the consistency behind how you actually are. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have good days. And that's not to go back to that person that says when things are good, you know what that means, something bad's going to happen. Or we've seen from your past experience that this is probably going to be another one of those people. Turn away from that kind of energy. Don't let someone determine how you should act. Or don't let someone say, well, we know how you were acting in the past with this kind of information. You went a little crazy with it, but you had every right. And this is what I'm getting from your pile. You had every right to get a little crazy, because that was the only way people around you would actually look at you. when you called people out on their BS, when you called these relationships out on their BS. And this is making me think that you have someone around you that is lingering, and they don't want someone to see you as being anything else but what they want others to believe you are. And you're being asked to transform. You're being asked to rebirth. You're being asked to look at these cycles and start preparing how to break free from them and develop healthy thought patterns, healthy habits. This card, I mean, it's showing you, like, when things are rough, how do you work through the stress? What was your go-to before? In my situation, and I'm okay with sharing this, when things were really bad for me, I always turned to food. Always, because it was like how I filled myself up, and that's how I got away from what was going on around me. It was the only time where everyone was doing one thing, and that was eating. And it was the only time to feel safe was eating. So, what do you do when things are rough? What do you do when you don't feel safe? Where do you go? Where do you hide? What do you pick up? What are you drinking? What are you eating? Who are you talking to? When things get bad, who do you keep going back to? This is what this is talking about. If you can start noticing patterns that you exemplify, not exempt, because don't exempt yourself from growth, from obtaining a healthy relationship, because you can obtain a healthy relationship because you are a good person. Find what shackles you from moving forward, and look at what baggage is around you that isn't serving you. And look at the pieces that you think are broken within you. You're not broke. You are very beautiful. And by these past experiences you've had and learning that you needed to grow from them and stop drinking from someone else's cup, you are seeing that even when glass is broke, when you see it in a light, think of a phoenix when it's rising. These glass shards that are around here are shimmering. They're very iridescent, and they create this rainbow effect, this sense of forgiveness that's coming through. The forgiveness that you are giving yourself, forgiving your past, forgiving those that are around you. Because this is something you really have to take your time to do. It's not something you can do overnight. This is a type of transformation that requires months, if not a year or more, to do. Any idea you voice, your thoughts can create. Any idea that you voice, you think it and then you voice it out loud. Start noticing those things. Because if you allow yourself to constantly think bad things are just going to keep happening, that you're never going to find a good relationship, that you're going to keep going back to toxic people. When you say, I will, it's going to, you're going to create these karmic cycles. And until you get through them, you're not going to be able to obtain this soulmate connection. Start being more mindful of how you think, how you act, how the people around you think, how they act, and start determining whether or not you need to leave this circle. And as you are shedding these layers, I promise you, you will start to feel your survival instincts kick in, because you'll have this voice saying, I'm not good enough, am I? Here I am, I'm having to change again. Here I am having to change myself. And you're going to feel attacked. And especially if you try to do a whole bunch of change really quickly without allowing yourself to grow within that bottle. Right now, this is your bottle. And you need to slowly allow yourself to let things fall through that do not need to be in your hand, slowly, because too much change can be very catastrophic and cause your senses to stress out. Do change slowly, little changes, not major changes. I really encourage maybe a journal where you write positive thoughts, positive affirmations, positive thinking. And if you are worried about the things around you that you can't talk to someone, before you go to bed at night, whatever you're worrying about, put it down. Release that worry and don't let it's already on paper. You don't have to think about it now. It's in this book. There needs to be two separate journals. I will say this. One journal is your worry release for spirit to come through. So that way they see this is what you're working on and you're worried about. So they can bring in that assistance. And that's how you recognize that you need that help. And over here you have your, this is what I know I am. This is how I'm going to heal. It is I ams. And it's I ams in a positive way. And when you find yourself, at first you're going to see, oh, everything is kind of like really dark, and then things get really bright, but then it becomes too bright and it's too hard to hold that type of energy. So you find yourself kind of slipping back in because it's unfamiliar and it's scary. So you're being asked, start letting things start to filter through. Grab the colander and let the grease fall through, things that are unhealthy for you to ingest. And then when you start to release that, you'll find this start to close up and you'll start to open up a bit more. But this is a wall. Think of the wall behind my hand. Nothing is going to come through as long as you choose to put yourself first. I know me talking about this, it seems very dark. And you were like, I'm getting a soulmate connection. You are getting a soulmate connection. You got to do the work for it, because that's what's going to make it a soulmate connection. It's very loving, but it's a not so friendly guide. And they're preparing you to work on your personal underworld. With nothing left to lose, you will find courage to confront this darkness. So think about what buried secrets you need to unearth so you can help actually let them rest in peace. This may be indication if there's something really dark that's been sitting at the back of your mind. Start looking for like counselors, therapy, maybe even pick up tarot yourself, because I am a advocator of tarot, helping people work through their dark nights. Remove the armor. Remove this armor when you are working on yourself so you can connect to your actual naked essence, what is really deep within you. Go to the bones of it. Look at what no longer serves you. Start within. Go within before you try to change anything around you, anything physically around you. Wait. Go within and start looking at what it is that you need to actually be working on. And when you do, allow what is calling to echo out. This could be an inner child work that needs to be done, where you've left this piece of yourself in the past, in the traumatic past, and this inner child is asking you to bring it to you presently so you can actually walk towards your future together. And if you have a heart that is full of iron right now, how can you melt it so it can be your sword to prevent anyone from coming around you by setting healthy boundaries? Because that's what I'm getting is you have these boundaries that are around you that people are constantly able to get in because you jump out of them and bring people in them. So let's look at the blocks that this significant other is going through currently that is preventing them from making this connection from happening. And we have the Two of Cups. And I don't want this to prevent people from working on themselves. So I want you to kind of like, as I'm unfolding this information, just take what resonates to the situation. If this is not something you are currently go through, but you know someone is going through it, they could definitely benefit from this kind of information then. So the Two of Cups, this person's block. This person may have just entered into a new relationship. This is why you really need to take your time working and preparing now, because they may be held up in a relationship currently. You may know who this person is, that you know something about them was calling you, but right now they are tied up. And this card really makes me think that they have a way of blindfolding and losing their identity. And maybe think of mirroring. Maybe you see yourself in them. You see this and you're like, I'm just like that. And I wonder if they know that they're like that. And you both have to work on this. This is something that you see in them, that you see in yourself, that you have to work on. This is what's echoing out. They match what they believe their partner will desire and mold to the other's container. So I was talking about your container and how you need to release some of the things that are in there because those aren't things that you should be carrying. This person is doing the exact same thing, but they are changing themselves to fit what they think that this person wants. They don't know how to be themselves without believing they have to change everything. Their clothes, their looks, their scent, their hobbies. They may deny what makes them light up, and they hide it. They hide the things that they actually enjoy doing. They, whether it be their music, anything that brings them peace, they hide their peace from someone else because they don't want their peace to be taken. This person's forgot how to compromise. So that way they're not put on the bottom end of a pedestal. They're going to constantly chase after someone else and constantly put them on a pedestal. And in their previous past, they have seen like any time that they tried to just be them, do themselves, they were shamed for it. And they may have lost relationships because of these toxic individuals that have been around them. And so they don't know how to have a healthy relationship either. They deny their needs. They really do. They deny the things that they need just so that way other people are happy. And deep down, they crave a soul connection. They are chasing the soul connection. And if they can see their soul has to connect without altering its right to exist, they would find freedom. When this individual comes within your grasp, or you start to pick up on someone that is like this around you, by watching you prepare and do the work, by watching you conquer the mold that people are trying to put you in, it lights something up within them. They're watching you grow from toxic bonds and shedding layers of insecurity. And when you catch them by themselves, and this is the thing, is like you're going to catch them doing something that they only do when they're alone, and you see them smile when they do it, and it lights you up too, by seeing them do something that they told this other person that that's not something they're interested in. It's like you gain this secret, and this secret becomes a connection. And they're not going to want to hide from others anymore by being able to connect with you and allowing them to express themselves how they really do want to express themselves, where they don't feel like they're on a timer, that they're allowed to take their own breaks and their own pauses, because you are going to be taking a lot of breaks. You're going to be taking a lot of pauses because you understand why it is so necessary when you start working on it. By the end of your journey, and from them watching you, you're giving them permission to do the exact same thing you did because you've seen how it made you turn into this butterfly. Your wavelength and theirs is going to flow more naturally, and it's going to be that constant permission that they need in order to keep exploring. You are very strong. And this strength is opening, it's going to allow them to take this blindfold off and see how they've been acting. And they're going to see a twin in you. They're going to see you both went through the exact same thing. And because you were able to overcome it, they're going to be able to. They're going to be able to take the glove off. And when they take that blindfold off, it becomes evident that you are the soulmate, because they can see the string connecting you to them. So let's look at your blocks, because this is going to take a lot of work, guys. I'm telling you, but you are coming from my past experiences and knowing how this kind of energy is. You're going to make it, hun. You really are. So let's look at your blocks. So this is the 5 of Swords. I want you to think about your thoughts, your mindset, and where you intellectually spend your energy. What allows you to keep staring at the ground with your mind going dark. So even though she's not looking at the ground, imagine that this is the ground, because this was in reverse. Your mind is dark, and you're only allowing these specks, these thoughts, to be the only ones. Your thoughts should be a culmination of lots of different types of energies, and you shouldn't be only focusing on the little bit that's here. And really how you are allowing chaos to unfold around you, externally and internally. This is what this kind of energy that I was talking about, where if you are always surrounded by chaotic people and you are constantly always on the defense, and you have this ability to observe the subtle changes in the environment around you, and it causes this sense of panic that you have to start putting yourself very battle ready, and you feel like you have to immediately grab the weapons that are around you before someone else grabs them. If you know someone's first reaction is to pick something up and physically hurt another person because they cannot let someone have their own mind, their own actions, be their own person. This, my dear, you shouldn't be surrounding yourself with this type of energy. And you need to feel safe. And you may feel like, because you've had to constantly observe the situations that were around you and observe people and pick up on their own patterns, you've had to figure out ways to control the situations that people are causing, so that way others don't get unintentionally wounded. But you're the one that's really becoming wounded, because you're the one that's having to pick up these swords, and they're very sharp. You may find yourself becoming that person that steps in to a fight and you are okay with the one being wounded, just so that way you are protecting someone else. And this is also telling you that if you keep finding yourself having to arm yourself to the teeth, you are going to cause your nervous system to never wind down because you're always thinking something bad is going to happen. You're keeping yourself up at night, and you know conflicts occur. But if they are always occurring around you, that's not natural. You need to separate yourself from those that are toxic, that cause the conflicts to come all over randomly. You may think that they're in a good mood, and then they just switch. And the front room's a battleground now. Do you take their conflicts to heart? Do you find yourself trying to help other people with their battles? And do you find yourself, and this is going to you personally as an individual, do you find that you need to help people change how they think or go about a situation? Do you find yourself kind of picking up on the energy that's around you and exhibiting? Because this isn't meant for you to actually hold. This wasn't meant for you to amplify and put out into the world. This was meant for you to see that this is not healthy, that this is not how we resolve problems and issues and situations. And if this is around at work, this is not a healthy work environment, and that takes a toll on people. And you may be the person that is constantly picking up other people's jobs or tasks that they need to be working on, and that's not something you should be doing. You should not be doing the work of 3 people. You should be doing the work of 1 person. And if the people around you are having fun and constantly, and this could be a sign, this should be a sign, like if this is something going on in other, because you're going to bring this kind of information. I know I keep going on about this, but this energy you could be bringing into your relationships because you feel like you have to do everything by yourself. That you, because you had to do it all by yourself, you picked up on it, and you only take up tasks for yourself and don't let anybody else come in to help you, and it burns you out. And then that you're so scared of that toxic energy coming out, and maybe that ugly part did come out, but that's not who you are. This came out because of everything that unfolded before you. This came out because you firmly believe you have to be the one to save the day. You have to be the one to take on the struggles so someone else doesn't have to. And you have to be willing to delegate and take things off your plate, to set firm boundaries. Because we have these 2 swords here. That is, I'm thinking these are choices. These are things that need to be made, that you have to be firm about. So that way people don't keep coming in here. People who are taking it leisurely, people who are taking advantage of you. And so don't, if you feel like you need, and this is what I'm also getting from previous relationships, because you have seen the worst in some of the ugliest people around you, you find yourself becoming this healer, this type of person that wants to make a bad dog into a good dog. So you're constantly finding these wounded people, and there you are picking up their battles for them. But you realize you had to be the one to learn how to fight your battles and become good at fighting these battles. It was you that had to do this, and you're being asked to let them, these people, do that for themselves because it's killing you. And fixing other people, going back to this, fixing other people while ignoring parts of you that need healing too, causes friction between self-worth and acceptance. If you keep choosing people worse off than you, You create dishonor towards receiving love that is deserving. Not all conflicts need explosive dynamite. Some issues come from minor things such as too much stress, not enough sleep, ignoring basic needs like regular eating schedules, and finding free time alone to collect oneself before interacting with others. Before you meet this connection, I want you to check your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. Put focus in this. And don't force a blindfolded individual to see their issues, because you're being asked, you're looking at this person. If I'm being serious, I really feel like you may already know who this is. You already see that they're with somebody and it's not good for them. But you do the same things. You may change yourself. You may pick up other people's battles. And this person doesn't want, they need to save themselves more than anything. Because they're already looking towards you. But so long as you are looking with the intention to help fix this situation for them, you're giving this maternal energy, this not, it's good to be like a sister, a cousin, a friend, a mother. You have all of these energies within you. But the energy you need to have is just your own energy. If they have unresolved issues from their own family, you are not meant to replace that. You are meant to be your own individual, and that's something that they have to figure out for themselves. But until they do, you can't. You have to start working on yourself. You have to kind of like step away so you can start cloaking yourself in working on the things that you need to work on. So that way this background becomes full of more stars. And I don't know if this is Pluto coming in and saying it's a loving, but it's not so friendly, because this is, if you have tried to go to therapy and they say the exact same thing and it just makes you feel a certain way, it's not to hurt you. It's not to make you feel as if you are unworthy, because you're not unworthy. My love, you are not unworthy. You are so strong. And I'm telling you, I have been through this before. I really have. And at first, I didn't want to listen to what it is that I needed to let go. I didn't want to. I honestly believed I had to change everything physically around me. I had to change my appearance. I'm very much, I understand this person, and I understand you. If you are going through this and this is something you do resonate with, but your higher person, your highest good person that you can become is coming through and bringing you here, so you can start seeing, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe I should start doing some small changes now. Go ahead and kind of turn an eye to this. Don't always try to fix something for them, and step away so that way when it's time to return, you will know, because they won't be blindfolded. They'll be looking at you with a different spark in their eyes that you hadn't seen before. They themselves are going to be very different. And I'm also hearing like maybe traveling away, new job change, a new circle of friends, different hobbies being picked up on, finding yourself, things that light you up too. And then when it is time to actually come back, because Pluto, it takes it a very long time to eventually get back to where it is. And that's what you need to do. You need to take a really long orbit around. And when you make it back, you both will be very different people. And that is when things will click in place. So the guy that is working with you is Daniel. And Daniel, because this is my first tarot deck, Daniel here, he's the best person you want to have on your side, especially when it concerns a soulmate connection. This is the angel of marriage. and he is assisting you right now. You may not be married. You may currently be in a relationship. And this is him. He's coming through to kind of basically let you know that, just so you're aware, I am working with you 100%, 24/7. I don't sleep. And he's asking you to allow for them to let their area of expertise to come in. They know how to show what equation is needed for a fulfilling marriage. You've been asking for a soulmate. You've been looking up at the stars and saying, is there really someone that's meant for me? Because it feels like everybody I've been around, I don't think that's what I'm meant to be with. And you're right. You're not meant to be with toxic people. You're not meant to always show an ugly side because other people can't get their crap together. And he's going to ask you to look at any kind of past wounds, especially how you feel about marriage. He's going to ask you to separate yourself and allow yourself for these quiet release moments so you can think about how everyone's relationship around you unfolded and worked out. So you can breathe out negative moments, those feelings that were experienced in your childhood or that you've seen around others that involved you, and let it go. To let go of any old pain or anger towards a first love or any past lovers thereof. Because that's how you're going to be able to actually, because they're going to have to do the exact same thing. They're going to have to let go of every single relationship that they have ever experienced and not let that define them. And that's what you're being asked to do as well. Another person's failed marriage does not mean that you were meant to have a failed marriage. It takes work. And they want you to be able, as you are taking things really slow and looking at the moments that you are having, when you reach this point where you say, I do, you're going to always be present. You're always going to feel like this was what was meant to be for the good. And they're going to love you through sickness and in health. They're going to love you regardless of when things kind of fall off, but you're able to get yourself back up and keep going. And they're going to be able to do that as well, because Two of Cups, this is a divine relationship here, guys. And with Daniel here, this was something that was meant to be. You were meant to have this, and you were willing to fight for it, and you were willing to change everyone's opinion about you now. And you were willing to cut cords that no longer serve you. And you know now that you don't need to be fighting someone else's battle for them. Daniel is really going to help you find bliss. He really is. And their advice is the Seven of Pentacles. And I kind of want to talk about this card. So whenever I'm doing a shuffle, sometimes Spirit comes in and kind of scares me sometimes, but other times I'm like, haha, Spirit, thank you. You saved me one less action. And this is how Spirit is going to come in for you. You're going to walk past something and you're going to notice, oh, I need to take care of that. And then when you come back to return it, it's already been taken care of. And this is Spirit coming through so that way I can give you that confirmation. When I'm drawing out the cards and I'm laying them out, this card came out like this. And I went over to the left side of my desk and I was going ahead and getting everything organized over here so I can get my journal and start writing everything out. By the time I took my attention away and came back, my card had already been flipped over, and I did not flip it over. I just want to let everybody know there was no breeze. And Spirit works like that. Spirit works in a way where it's going to make things work out for you. without you actually having to do anything with it. And his advice, Daniel's advice, is to create a long-term, positive, and steady change of ways, of these goals, these courses, especially when it revolves around your work, the location you're in, and your health. Create a long-term, positive, and steady change goal. This is an evolution that marks a departure from your current pathway to something different. The growing pains that you may feel twinging make you ready to do something about them. You know you need to do something about it because you can feel it. You feel it vibrate all around you. Analyze and reflect on where you wish to grow and what you want to prioritize. And make sure it's you that you are trying to prioritize. It's your future you're trying to prioritize. This is something that you're going to have to plant. You're going to have to plant and walk away from it and nurture it over time. It's where you're going to have to be very reflective about what it is that you're trying to obtain. And then by the time you come back, you're going to see all of this work that you put into it has been very fruitful. And Daniel's going to say you're going to be able to see by the time you come back to this tree, this person will be waiting for you as well. And they will have planted the exact same thing that you planted. And all you have to do is say, I need to release this. I notice this is something that I need to work on. And it's already going to be done for you by the time you return. Because they're working with this person. They're working with you and they're working with this person, but you're working in different directions that lead back together. So I'm going to go ahead and get your word Scrabble out and your charms. And we're going to uncover the messages that Daniel and your spirit guides are revealing about this soulmate and how you're going to meet them. All right. So here's your Scrabble, and your charms are kind of scattered all around. So let's go and look at the word Scrabble, spelling out what we can't really say or do currently. So pike, and I separated these, and I want you to see this as a T chart, not the letter T, but a T chart. And this is saying, what do you need to pike? What do you need to get rid of? And define what is good for you and why it is good for you. Why, when you do make these healthy choices, these healthy habits, always go back to why you are doing it. Because oftentimes we start with, okay, drinking water is really good for us because it does this for us and this for us. And then we forget that. And then we just stop drinking water, and always kind of like leave little notes and reminders around you that says, we're doing this because of this, because this is good for us. And define what is hard, what is heavy for you, and why it is heavy for you. Why certain emotions or things that we kind of like hold back, that we keep buried at the bottom, why is it so hard to express them? And what can we pike? What can we determine that is for our highest good and what is not for our highest good? And when something is heavy, why do we think that that task is too much for us? Why do we think that controlling our mindset is too hard? And then when we look at why it is hard, sometimes it can be the people around us that make it really hard to have a healthy mindset because they can't have a healthy mindset. And then we start to look at, well, if I leave and go somewhere else where I can mentally become healthy, We see the good things that are coming from it, and we understand why these good things are starting to come around. So what do you need to redefine and put to rest? Because doing good doesn't always hurt, and it shouldn't hurt. Don't pike yourself to someone else's wound. If you are the one taking on someone else's issues, you're being asked to separate yourself from that. Separate and discern what needs to be spelled out for yourself. And don't allow someone to come in and control the situation. Get up and do before someone else weighs their opinion. And if you have a hard time starting a good habit because someone says, oh, that doesn't work out. I tried that. That doesn't work out for me. That's not for them to determine for you. That's for you to determine for yourself. I used to not ever try to do like physical like workouts because I found myself whenever I tried to do what everybody else was doing, like they told me, you should do high intensity workouts. You should start lifting heavy weights. But because I experienced trauma, anytime my body was going through that exhaustion where my body hurt, it really brought out like PTSD symptoms where I thought I was being attacked. So I had to find different ways to be physically active, and I found that through yoga. And yoga is very mindful. I'm not saying you should do it, but like finding your own path, your own workout, your own lesson library that is built specifically for you and was not tailored for someone else. Find what that is for you. So we have 15. We have this is a dice, so 15. So 1 is new beginnings. It's inspiration, it's opportunity, and 5 is change. It sometimes resolves around conflict because when we're changing, sometimes conflict ensues because people can't understand why we're doing things differently. People can't understand why we decided to cut them off. And so they tried to prevent this opportunity from even happening. So notice the people that are causing the conflict around you that are preventing you from doing what you need to be doing. And this, Daniel, he's giving you clues to pick up on. He's revealing who is in your circle that is causing these chaotic tendencies to come out. And he's asking you to figure it out before everyone else around you has left. And these bells, he's asking you to really believe in you and believe in him and believe in this connection before it rolls away. And he's got it right now. This love connection he currently has right now, and he's only going to be able to give it to you when you both do what you need to be doing. And there's a sense of wanderlust, a strong desire or urge to wander or explore or travel the world. And maybe by being in the relationships around you, you haven't been able to do that. Well, once you decide to do what you want to be doing and you actually do it, you can go wherever you want. And by doing that and going around the world, eventually this person will be there where you end up. And you will have so much more respect for yourself and so much more respect for this relationship. And you just trust each other to be able to make this tree strong, healthy, and fertile. You will have so much more compassion. You're already a very compassionate person. You are very empathetic, but you will find how much you can make that grow from having good boundaries. And Pluto is asking if you can start noticing these cycles within yourself and cycles within other people, and allow yourself to practice releasing ceremonies or cutting cords or just letting go of what isn't yours to carry. Then Daniel can actually do what he needs to do by providing that healing to come in. And this doll with the orange head, with the mouth being closed tight, this is someone that is rejecting or neglecting their body's needs and their desires, and almost saying like they don't deserve to have a healthy mindset. They don't deserve to have food and water, to reward themselves. And this is saying you do deserve to be able to reward yourself when things are going good. And you do deserve to give yourself surprises. And this person does too. Because right now, all they see is how dark they are. And look at this person's head, because their head is orange. And remember how I was saying this is mirroring effects. Right now, y'all don't believe you deserve to fulfill your own needs, your own personal goals, and you need to mold yourself to the environment that is around you, the people that are around you. And until you can untie your mouth and start speaking on what you need to speak on about, and then let it go so you can move forward, only then, and only then when you resolve this, will you find that soulmate connection. That's how you're going to prepare for this. So let me go ahead and get into the debriefing for this pile. I really I encourage you to stick around if you like, only if you want to. But if you got the message that you wanted, you're more than free to wander and go towards the tree that you just planted. And or if you felt called to another pile, you are more than welcome to go to another pile. All right, so let me go ahead and get into the debriefing in just a second.